Hello, welcome to our social live here. I am Thomas Wingfield. I'm the product marketing manager for Webex for Government, Webex for Defense, and Webex Security and Compliance. Today I have some experts in the field of compliance here to answer some important questions about what's happening in the field of security and compliance. From Cisco, we have Raj Kumar, and from Theta Lake, we have Anthony Cressy. Raj, would you start by introducing yourself?
Thomas. I'm Raj Kumar. I'm a director of product management for Webex Security Compliance. I closely work with our customers and partners like Theta Lake to bring new security and compliance capabilities to the market. So when it comes to data protection and be compliant with collaboration, pay attention to our customers and bring those capability to them.
Great. Anthony, would you tell us about yourself and about Theta Lake as well?
Of course. So I'm Anthony Cressy. I'm SVP of Alliances, Finance, and Business Operations for Theta Lake. Theta Lake is a leading communication, compliance, and security vendor. So we're really enabling organizations to manage things like compliance, long-term archiving, e-discovery, legal hold, as well as the proactive supervision and data leakage detection across multiple modalities, whether that's voice, video, chat communications, so we can detect risk across what is said, shown, shared on screen.
Okay, great. Let's jump into the questions now, if you all are ready. So, why is security and compliance core to the Cisco message, and why is that important to customers, Raj? Can you tell us?
For customer, especially enterprises, security and compliance is on top of their CSO or CIO mind. At Webex, security is never a trade-off for convenience or speed. It's not an afterthought, but it's a core to how Cisco delivers functionality for collaboration. So, and we say that collaboration without compromise, right? That's what one of our mantras.
Mhm.
And as you know, Thomas, with hybrid work, users are increasingly using personal devices for handling corporate work, right? They're blending business and personal data. They're collaborating with external, organization. Lot of communication happening over in internet, and it's not just confined to their intranet, which used to be before COVID. All these shifts and changes has increased risk exposure for our customers, right? So how they effectively manage security and compliance in this hybrid work environment. And in some cases, if customer sees that a vendor like Webex don't have security and compliance control in place, they tend to turn off features, things like file sharing, chatting, whiteboarding in meetings, for example, uh, because they don't have a way to kind of secure their data or also be comply with regulation or corporate policy. Things like a customer may want to archive all the electronic communication happening in the collaboration. They may want to prevent data leakage for confidential data. So they tend to turn off features, which at the end impacts end user productivity, because without features they can't function very well. So at Cisco, we work hard to ensure that customer have appropriate security and compliance control, which they can adapt to their corporate compliance security policies or even industry regulation. So that users have all the features to effectively collaborate to their, internally or externally. That's why, as I said, security is core to our, way to deliver features. So customers and users are secure, protected, and compliant.
Great, that's really important. So, Anthony, can you tell us about some of the trends or expanded use cases when it comes to compliance?
Yeah, of course. So one of the things that we've obviously seen, and I'm sure Raj has seen this as well, is when the pandemic happened, a lot of people just deployed their solutions to make sure that employees continue to communicate. I think there's been a lot more strategic planning in how they're rolling out these solutions and what features and functionalities that they're looking at. Just because as they plan for this, the acceptance and the future planning is around hybrid work and how they enable employees. And so they're no longer looking, when you think of a compliance security perspective or UC perspective, as a stopgap to fill this. They're viewing this as a very strategic component of how they're going to operate as a business. And one of the things that we've really seen, and Raj mentioned this in the beginning, is how do they enable their employees and their organization to be more productive? How do they leverage the full scope of features and functionalities that are provided by these platforms? And so we've seen a lot more in discussions where we're coming to the table is how can we partner with not only the business side, but as well as the compliance and security teams to turn on these features and functionalities. We did a recent survey and we saw that 83% of organizations are not leveraging all of their capabilities of collaboration platforms. So it shows that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit and features and functionalities that they can be using, and they can use that as a competitive differentiation. How can they better engage with their clients and customers? How can they allow their employees to better collaborate with other employees within the organizations and just use that as differentiation where you're really leading with technology? And so that's one of the things that we're really seeing is come to this. The other is, which Raj also mentioned in the beginning, when you look at the solutions that were really built for compliance and security, a lot of them have been built around text-based communication, and that's not the way that people are communicating today. When they're using video,
Right.
they're using chat. It's a much richer way. Images, GIFs, documents, files, audio can be shared across these platforms. And the tools that have been out there that people have been using for compliance haven't been built for that. And so they're really looking to modernize their compliance and security stack along with their communications to enable their teams to be much more efficient and effective when they're doing things around supervision, archiving, e-discovery of these communications.
Okay, great. And how does Theta Lake help with WebEx specifically?
Yeah,
Can you
great
answer that?
question. So we've got an ever expanding integrations that we partner closely with Raj and the rest of the Cisco team. So today we have multiple integrations, not only capturing WebEx messaging, WebEx meetings, Cisco meeting server. We also released a really cool new functionality, which we call selective ecoms, which allows you to capture certain aspects of a WebEx meeting, whether it's recorded or not. So WebEx meeting chat is one of them. We also expanded to capture transcripts, which allows firms to use things like WebEx Assistant. So we can integrate to capture all these different disparate types of data. Why that's important is a lot of our customers operate in regulated industries. Multiple ones operate outside of that. But there's certain requirements around retention of these communications, which means they hold them for 5 or 7 years to comply with those retention requirements, and it allows them to deploy it across all their employees. And so one, we can act as that archive of record. We're 17A4 WARM compliant, which means which is a requirement for archiving these communications. We also allow really rich e-discovery, so searching across aspects of the recordings, whether that's meetings metadata or whether it's content within inside of what was said or shown within these meetings, enabling things like legal hold, as well as the proactive supervision. So we have over 70 pre-built policies that you can leverage to detect risk in these communications. They could be regulatory, security, acceptable use risk, even data leakage risk across that. And so you can really create and customize the platform for how you want to use that. We also even integrate with third-party email archives. So if you want us to capture the content and send over there so you can leverage your existing compliance tools, that's another thing we can do. So we've built a lot of really nice integrations, and then we have a lot of AI machine learning to enable much more efficient compliance across these communications.
Great.
I'm going to add some to what Anthony just said. So, Theta Lake has a great product when it comes to supervision, archival of data, DLP. On top of that, the Theta Lake teams move very fast, right? They listen to the customers, our joint customers and other customers, and we work very closely to the customer's requirements. And when we are developing a new set of APIs, we share our ideas and how we can really simplify and solve customer problems. So we do, very have a close relationship. At the same time, Theta Lake team also delivers. Like once we have a new API, we work closely, and they deliver the features very rapidly. So either a new customer or existing customer can benefit with our joint integration, and to maintain their security and compliance posture. So having a partner like Theta Lake, which is a great product, and they move fast. So benefit to the customer, benefit to our partnership.
That's great. Anthony, can you provide a couple of use cases and how you're helping WebEx customers get more value from their existing WebEx investment?
Yeah, of course. I mentioned this at the beginning, but especially within the regulated industries, because there's regulatory obligations around, again, retention of those communications and supervision, when they're looking to deploy WebEx across all their employees, some of them fall within that realm of regulated users. And so if they don't have the right compliance and archiving tools in place, they're limited from deploying them to enable them to communicate with internally or even external users. And so one of the things that we do is really allowing for the capture of all those communications, and you pick and choose which platforms those are. And so being able to integrate and capture those different modalities of communication is really important to be able to deploy that. So a couple of the use cases that we've seen, and one of them that Raj just kind of mentioned is working really closely with their APIs and partnering with the team is we always had the ability to capture WebEx messaging. And we're unique across that because we built a platform that can capture everything from the messages, the content shared, images, GIFs, reactions, and put it into a really native view so that it looks the same way that you see inside of WebEx Teams. It looks like that in our platform. And you can search across days, weeks, and months, where a lot of other ones are really trying to format it like an email file. So it's one way that we're different in a use case that people are leveraging us for, is that it allows for much more efficient search, e-discovery, and review of these communications. The other one was really cool, and this is something that we got from our joint customers, is they wanted to leverage WebEx meeting chat. So in WebEx meetings, there's a number of components that are considered electronic communications. Those could be the in-meeting chat, it could be transcripts, it could be whiteboards, it could be a host of things. And in most cases, firms typically disable this functionality if they can't capture it. And so our customers were coming with jointly to say, can I capture WebEx meeting chat, and can I capture transcripts to enable things like the WebEx Assistant, which is a really good note-taking capability, allows for follow-ups and everything else. And that's something that we jointly developed together, and we already have in production with a number of customers, even Global 500 organizations. And so it's really powerful to say, can I make my employees more productive? These are the features that are most requested inside of our environment. How can Theta Lake and WebEx deliver this together? And that's something that we delivered, shipped, and a number of other customers are already having that deployed. So that's one of those things that we see. Even outside of that, we see a lot of requests from state and local government. There's something called the Freedom of Information Act, which you have to disclose certain public records when there's a request for it. And so having our platform that just allows for a really easy searching capabilities, really nice, efficient UI to search across all these records, allows them to be more efficient when they're having to comply with these public disclosure requests. And so there's a lot of really nice capabilities that that we've jointly delivered together.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and so you've kind of answered the next question a little bit, Anthony. How are Cisco and Theta Lake working together to make these critical compliance and security tools more available to all WebEx customers? So, is there anything else you want to add, or Raj, you want to add anything about that?
I'll start. I think one of the things, and we mentioned it a lot because I think it's really powerful, is that we're jointly working with a lot of these. We have a very strong roadmap and a lot of features that we're going to be delivering soon, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But one of the things that we announced recently with partnership with Raj and team is a freemium offering. And so what it allows for is organizations can leverage all of our integrations, whether that's WebEx messaging, meetings, Cisco meeting server. We also have other ones that are coming here, the selective ecoms as well. And you can capture these for and retain them for a 30-day period free of charge. And so it's really streamlining and making that onboarding process a lot more efficient so that organizations can start testing these capabilities and rolling them out as they're trying to roll out more features and functionality of the WebEx platform or roll it out to more users. And so the solution is really easy to deploy. We could typically have it up and running within, a half an hour, 1 hour working session. So it's a really nice way to get people to start having those conversations with the compliance and security teams that have potentially been blockers historically to say, you know what, I've tested out Theta Lake. I'm looking at it, how it integrates with WebEx, as well as any of our other collaboration systems. And this is going to meet all of our requirements, and so we can go forward. And so it's allowing them to go to the compliance and security teams and have that conversation. The other thing that's worth mentioning is there's a lot of other additional functionalities, longer term retention and supervision and DLP that we talked about. That's not part of the freemium offering, but because we're on the Cisco GPL, really easy way to procure those solutions. So if you want to purchase the advanced SKU for all those capabilities, You can do that through Solutions Plus, and it just allows for a really nice procurement process to get up and running.
The freemium model is really also great for customers, right? They can try very quickly before they buy it, right?
Mm,
So they can look
right.
at all the capabilities which the Lake has to offer with Webex, and and then go with the full solution if there is a need. If they don't have a need, they're happy with 30 days. They can still continue with that, but they give the Theta Lake give them a range of options for customers of different shape and sizes. That's a good.
And I'll add one more thing to that is, and this is me speaking, so I'm a little bit biased, but our solution, I believe, is the best out in market, and so it gives firms who are having any challenges with archiving, e-discovery, legal hold, a way to test another solution and to see how much better it could be if you had a purpose-built platform that was tailored towards all these unified communications and wasn't beholden to the legacy way and infrastructure of things that it's been built that's more email based. This is a way that you can test and see how much better the teams can operate and how much more they can scale when there's a platform that's built for to handle these types of communications.
Great. Thank you. Um, so what's coming in the future? What can you tell us about what's coming soon?
Yes, I'll take, and then maybe Anthony can add to that. So,
Okay.
as we mentioned at Webex, we continue to add new applications, new functionality, primarily focus on end user collaboration, right? To be more effective, to do more with less. And you can think about some of our recent acquisitions like Slido, a great QNN polling platform. Similarly, we have Socio, recently acquired by Cisco, which is a great tool for virtual event management or hybrid event management, right? And all these things are geared towards making the collaboration or Webex collaboration be very effective and powerful to organization. But with these applications, we will be enhancing the security and compliance control as we fold them into Cisco WebEx. So we'll have a set of APIs which allow customer who wants to leverage these great capabilities to archive, do data loss prevention and provisioning. So we'll continue to focus on as we add new capabilities, new applications, and that continue to grow to make sure that customer have best of the class security and compliance control with Theta Lake as one of our key partners on that.
Good.
Yeah, and
Anthony?
that's one of the things that I think has been really great about this partnership is being in lockstep around that. So we talked about at the beginning, our whole thesis is enabling organizations to better collaborate and use these features functionality, but remain compliant when they're using those. So all those new acquisitions, and if there's other ways that people can collaborate and features and functionalities that require retention of those communications, we'll be here to integrate with those and leverage those APIs so that we can allow those organizations to use all those new features of the platforms. The other one that we're already working on, which will be releasing closer to the first half of this year, is real-time DLP around looking at files within WebEx messaging, analyzing them, and then we do that today, which allows for remediation after fact. This will be more of a real-time and kind of a blocking mechanism so that if it violates a DLP policy for that organization, we can scan that, analyze it, and block it from being delivered to the other user.
Great. Sounds good. So that's all the questions I had. Is there anything else you guys would like to share at all?
I would just say that we at Cisco WebEx we have a great partnership with Theta Lake, and we'll continue to bolster our partnership by offering the best of the breed security and compliance control. So their user can benefit very rapidly and quickly to be productive in their organization with their own customers as well.
Great.
Yeah, I would just echo that. It's been a phenomenal partnership as we kind of talked about in all these integrations. It's been a very phenomenal evolution of what we can deliver together. And the fact that, we have multiple, Global 500 organizations across North America, EU, UK, using these solutions just shows that there's the demand for it, and the continued need that we're hearing from customers around expanding these integrations just shows that there's going to be a lot more coming from us in the future and that partnership with the team. So it's great.
Yeah. It's great. It's good to hear that we have such great partnership and that we can contribute to helping our customers to have better deployments as well of WebEx. So it's great that you all been able to share that. Thank you. I really appreciate the time you've had here and hearing from both of you guys. And I just thank you again and hope that we can look forward to greater things coming out very soon. So thank you very much.
Likewise.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thomas.